right, good evening, everybody. Welcome back to SPCS, where we have a great matchup here in the intermediate tier. The Chippewas of Central Michigan University will be taking on Raito here tonight. My name is Dexatron. That is Nyah. Nyah, man, how are you doing here?
I'm doing pretty fantastic here, Dex. And as you did just quote, we got two teams that are actually close up in the standings, only a 2 seat apart. But yeah, one sitting at number 18 and one sitting at the 20 seating spot. So I expect one of these teams to get some higher points here to raise up in this intermediate division standings. But they are coming in 1-1. But if you are Rato, you have won your last match 3-2, so you're heading up into this one with some momentum.
Yeah, but on the other side for the Chippewas, I mean, they lost their last match 3-2. They won their first one 3-2. So I mean, both these teams in the series that they have played have gone the distance so far. Yeah, you do see Raito there having that 0-3 sweep in that first one. That was actually a forfeit there, so they did not
Yeah.
play that one. So wait, they played four? No, they played
No,
five.
wait.
They definitely played
Yeah.
five. They definitely played five that last week against IHOP, but I mean, yeah, you said it right there a little bit. They're not that far apart in the standings, but it's okay. So apparently
Draw.
one of the maps was a draw. Yeah, Numbani was a draw there. So they still played five maps, but like you said, they're 18th and 9th and 20th in the standings, but it's still so early on in the season. You really can't get a good grasp on really anything about that here. Because I mean, Central Michigan had been able to win that second map there, they would have been up a lot higher, considering we did see like right after them in 17, it started those teams that were even in map
Yeah.
score. But this would be a good show for these two teams that shows what they really have here, especially as we head into the week here and head into the next week, week 4. You'll start to see teams really separate each other here, and you'll start to see that top half of the intermediate tier and the bottom half of the intermediate tier really form up.
Yeah, and the intermediate tier is pretty competitive, and even with this map, it is Busan, and Dex, there's a lot of variant to this, but we do know the teams are going to be running a dive variant heading up into these maps. So I wouldn't be surprised if they were able to target ban each other here or with these compositions, but this is SPCS, of course, and they love to do some things, and as we get to see, control bands, these are going to be Diva and Lucio.
And that's kind of what we really expected to see here. We talked about what we were expecting to see, considering both these teams would really like to run dive comps. Both of them said they like to prefer to run that here. But at some point throughout the
Yeah.
series, one of the teams is going to come out playing something a little bit different to try to catch the other one off guard here. I mean, right, so they did talk about the fact they have been working on some poke comps here, while on the other side for Central Michigan, really didn't talk about any other compositions they've been trying to play. They've been trying to learn a lot more hazard here recently, but with perks coming in, I don't know how you've seen it, Nia, but we haven't seen a lot of
Yeah.
the newest Scottish hero because the perks aren't that strong here. But banning out the Diva, you're really kind of forcing yourself to either playing that Hazard or playing the Winston, which I feel like we're going to end up seeing the Winston more than anything.
Yeah, and with like the lower seed numbers here too, Dex, I wouldn't be surprised if we were able to see counter swaps come out up in the series from both of the teams heading up into it. But yeah, I do expect this to be highly competitive in between. They do want to get a win here for both, but the bans are going to be still very interesting. Taking out a dive tank like Diva is very important.
Yeah, and here is the starting lineup for the Chippewas from Central Michigan. Abusive Chicken and Freed Jet on, or okay, this is Uh, Abusive Chicken and Sergeant Skittles as your DPS line, Free Jet as your tank, Shevin and Turtles Are Cool as your support line. I mean, they have a 1-1 record. They're looking to bounce back last week from a 5-map series, and I mean, they've been competitive in every series they've played so far. It would not surprise me if they're very competitive here tonight.
Yeah, and as you said, Central Michigan has been more up in the playtime here, but heading up into our next roster, which that is going to be Raito. And yeah, this is an interesting team. They did have a draw, as it seemed to be that first week. But you look at it, you have Kuhn up on the side with the tank and DPS, Cyrilli up on the support, Afogatoy up on the support, Salty Saltines up on the DPS, and Spaz Shotgun up on the tank and DPS. So a little bit of variety coming out in between, flexing 2 roles for 2 players here. But, yeah, this is gonna be interesting to see what, these 2 teams could do.
Yeah, and I mean, especially with the flexibility between these two teams and the fact that they do have some subs, but not necessarily a lot. You could see a couple people coming in and out at times throughout this series, so that does leave you up to a lot of map-dependent picks, map-dependent players coming in here. But like you said, Busan will be our first map of the night here. And I mean, there are very favorable dive maps here, but there are some, in my opinion, that really aren't the best for dive. But these two teams, they both said they like running it, so they might try to force it.
Yeah, and Busan, even like mecha based too, you could see a brawl variant happen there, but as they did state, and as it hopefully will be, maybe these teams will just stick to the dive. I wouldn't be surprised, but yeah, Busan, it's gonna be interesting. Maybe we'll be able to see a couple swaps coming in between with the DPS, same with the backlines. But yeah, stuff will need to change soon, especially when they have the bans. But yeah, let's see what happens here, Dex, as we get to see a wonderful face in front of us. Um, but yeah, Busan, it is first to 3. Let's get this started.
Yeah, so Central Michigan, I mean, we expected dives coming out from both sides. That's what we're really seeing here. Starting out on the hazard, remember, they said they've been working on that a little bit more here, but Raito on the other side, playing the ball, and I really like that here, Nyah.
Yeah, Raito is bringing a aggressive pace to this with the ball. Ashe needs to be a little careful about it because if Freed can catch him around those corners as a hazard player, it could be a little special for this Central Michigan team. But let's see what happens. They're rolling out a spawn here, and if you are Raito, you're going to be the one to take more space against the Central Michigan team a little more faster.
Yeah, especially with Ashe here, going to be able to kind of just roll their way through. Pile driver pouring down on that backline, knocking a lot of people up there, but they have to immediately just kind of roll themselves away here. They do pop the shields to keep them sustained very well here, but now rolling their way back through. But now look at this kind of distraction here play. You have Salt here trying to get rid of Raspberry. They're struggling to. Freed will be able to find Tuna on the other side, but Central Michigan able to withstand this kind of first engagement here from Raito, and they're going to be granted here with the first point gap.
Yeah, Central Michigan looking good off of that engagement, as you did just say. And yeah, I like what they're bringing to this competition and their team comp. But you're looking at Raito, which is running Ashe still with the ball. So can Ashe get back up into this opposition and upset that backline?
I mean, that's what you're looking for here, but at some point you have to try to find a follow-up pick here. You can't be rolling your way after you get that powder up. Kind of like what they were there. Nice sleep there by Raspberry. Gonna have to let him stay asleep. It looks like it was Demora that woke him up. Anto is gonna be able to get abusive chick out here. Raspberry, though, will be able to fade out the tank, and that's huge for Central Michigan here. You still have Freed up and alive. They're gonna be able to cause so much pressure on the rest of Raito here that you look. You already see him backing up the sleep. Not really gonna do a lot here. Central Michigan able to withstand yet again.
Yeah, and Central Michigan will have these 2 ultimates of support, so I wouldn't be surprised if they were to bring more of this pressure from Turtle on to Raito. Popping that Coalescence could be huge, but even that Nano. But yeah, if you are Raito here, Dex, you have a choice of popping this Nano Blade, which could just come out here very, very shortly for this side.
Yeah, it could come out, and that's kind of where I would expect to go. Maybe put on to Ashe to try to do it a little bit more disruption. Huge anti-nade, though, coming out there from Sterling. Not going to be able to find anyone just yet. No one will fall from it. Sergeant Skittles, though, will be the first one. Coalescence now out from Turtle, trying to just get rid of that ball as best they could now, focusing on here to Sterling. Not going to be able to find anything. The Nano out onto someone, but I don't know who it went out onto. It went on to Sparkles, who you immediately see bowl through Turtle's Raspberry. Abusive chick all taken out. Raito finally able to break through, and you're seeing a stall come out here from Freed, but it's going to help them at least get up to about probably 87% before Raito finally takes control.
Yeah, and a great way to aggress here if you are Raito and you do have these ultimates up on both sides of economies. And it's going to be interesting to see how these teams place this. Central Michigan is running in more of the favor in the economy fourth, but I wouldn't be surprised if Central Michigan was able to take this back because what they have been doing so far is pretty dumb.
bulk through coming there from Ash. Not gonna be able to finish anything just yet. Pile drive though, a huge anti-nade as well, but you're seeing kills be traded out each way. Each team down on support at the moment. Ultimates coming out here from Central Michigan. Hey, they're gonna be able to find 3 because of it. Ash will get rid of Turtle on the other side, but if you're Raito, you still have Ash, you still have Fancy Tuna alive, but you might have to just give up the point here. It's gonna be a really hard recontest, but you're just gonna have to give it up.
Yeah, and if you are up on the side with Otto, you gotta just try and pop this blade as soon as possible to get some aggression back for your side, but you got this orbital ray here, Dex.
Orbital ray, you're trying to probably keep that up there so Sparkles can stay alive, but now you're seeing Anzu pop out that blade. Duke coming out there onto the ball from the Abusive Chick, trying to roll around, cause a lot of disruption here as you already see Salt taking out the dupe though, kicking out as well. Freed though. A lot of sustain on the point right now for Central Michigan. Gonna be very hard for Raito or Raito to find anything there. Anzu though, gonna be the next one to fall. Minefield coming out from Ash, but you're just seeing Central Michigan really just pick up all the kills they need here. They're trying to clean up, but give it up to Raito. Just finding ways to stay alive, but eventually they're gonna be not on the point long enough. Central Michigan takes the first point.
Yeah, Rai is doing what they could do, and yeah, just a great job from Raito overall. Did I hear Rialto, Dex? It does look like Rialto. I don't blame you. But yeah, Raito, I like what they're doing so far, but they need to bring this pressure more forth against Central Michigan. Central Michigan has played a little more than this Raito team, but you look at it, both teams do favor this composition, so will Freed still stick to this path going on forth to the next couple maps? It's going to be a question to answer, but the thing that's going to be interesting here is we get to see Ash up on the Zarya, and Dex, what I got to see from a Zarya player today, it was nasty, and it was a phenomenal performance. But let's see what Raito could do. They're running something different.
Yeah, I think Zarya right now is a really good spot in the meta. Could potentially be meta here if you build them up the right way and have the right support. So they can just never die, do so much damage with Salt. You're gonna be able to find Raspberry, Freed to be able to trade it out on the other side. But now you're seeing that Zarya come alive, get rid of the Chick. Freed though, immediately gonna find a second. But now the tanks are just kind of trading back and forth though. Ash gonna be the one to win this time around, and Raito coming out here with this non-dive comp here, gonna be able to take this first fight convincingly and the point cap.
Yeah, and wonderful work here from the Genji up on Raito's side. And yeah, you're looking at a good ultimate economy build right now. You're sitting at basically half percentage for both of your DPSs. But look at this. Onto is able to get one.
And you kind of have to wonder why Turtle was up there in the first place. There's no reason that the Moira needs to be up there, and because of that one kind of mistake, look, it's just a bowl through there for Raito, as they're easily able to clean up everyone there for Central Michigan.
Now, if you are Ontos up on the side of Raito, you're gonna basically decide if you want to dry blade this. You don't have a nano just yet, but if you are fancy, maybe you could apply a speedering with that dry blade. But let's see what Central Michigan can do. Obviously, we get to see that Malga swap in, and I like what they're doing so far, but they need to still be aware that they're heading up into Azar.
Well, they know that Ash can use both the bubbles here already. Anti-Nate can come out, but they're going to be able to cleanse themselves with it. Antu will find Skittles in that backline, and that does allow this Blade here to have a little bit more freedom, knowing that that railgun shot is gone, but they're just trying to keep themselves alive here. However, it doesn't necessarily matter, as Raito coming back out this point here, looking like a completely different team. Central Michigan now looking lost here.
Yeah, Raito, we could call them the anonymous ones, as we get to see that SPCS logo up on our top right. But yeah, Raito, they do have these ultimates here up in their economy, but you're looking at Central Michigan, which have just been struggling up on this city space. And yeah, it's gonna be surprising. I feel like Raito can just do more here with their economy. So can we see Raito? Yeah, right. Raito's gonna be possible.
Grabs can come out here, and Central Michigan, I mean, Reed is going to be alive here. They're getting Nano. They're going to have to do a lot with the other. They will be able to find one, but the Nano now out onto Ontos and clearly, or certainly as well, as you're just seeing Raito here. Just clean up house. Team kill to end it here, and I mean, Central Michigan was only able to get a couple picks throughout the entirety of that point right there. Raito looking like a much different team than what we saw on that first point, man.
Yeah, and Raito, you do have a phenomenal player up on there, which is Ontos. And if you're Ontos, you've just been walking onto the Central Michigan team after that second. But now you're up on Mecha base. This is the third, and still a little bit of the same coming out from both of the sides. But if you are Raito, why not just stick to that composition? You performed pretty dominant, and Dex, I would be definitely surprised here if you're Central Michigan after that percentage loss.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't even close. Central Michigan, they're kind of going back to what they really ran on that first point, saying it might be the thing that gives them the best chance here to win. But the biggest thing that we saw from Central Michigan at last point is that they were never able to really get any kind of pressure in. Sparkles was doing such a good job just forcing the back, but I like what Creed is doing here, getting in that backline, just kind of walking past Ash, forcing Ash to fall back instead. Anto's getting very low. Artillery giving the first, or yeah, the first one fall there. Skittles finds it. Central Michigan, I mean, look at what that one pick does. They're able to play very aggressive, find three. Looks like Raito, though, might be able to get a little bit of a point gap here, but they're going to run for the hills.
Yeah, and looking at the even, team compositions, Raito is going to have to build more looking up into this Central Michigan side of things because you have Sergeant Skittles that's able to play the Sojourn and take space, but as well, you have that Echo. So a lot of stickies can happen, but look at this, Dex.
Yeah, taken out early, but you immediately trade out the Ana on the other side here. And honestly, if you're Central Michigan, with how those anti-nades have been just killing Freed so far, you might really have to consider maybe playing a Kiriko here to try to clean them up. But Raspberry will be taken out by Ash here. Now you're just seeing this high charge beam do a lot of work. Tuna going to be able to find one kill there with the torpedoes. Central Michigan though, this fight is kind of already a little bit done here, but they're going to try to stall this out as long as they can. And look, another anti-nade coming in. There is no way that Freed lives. Abusive Chick out as well, and this could be Central Michigan running back to safety as Raito takes control.
I just saw Fareed just fly to the sky there. Yeah, Raito, they are now up in this percentage. It is ticking, but you do have this Graviton Surge, which could just be pumped any second now. They're playing around the corner, which is great space, but look at this pick.
Call-up is coming out here, but the grab gonna be a little bit better. Almost four members already down. Freed gonna try to do what they can. They will find Ash, and they're gonna pop the downpour, but it's gonna be a wasted ultimate right there. You have to imagine they're gonna be swapping off here because that fight was all but over.
Yeah, definitely a little awful there from Central Michigan, losing that downpour. But now, as it seems to be, Dex, I think Freed's just gonna keep on rolling out up on it, but you have this phenomenal DPS line that still has these ults to just pop against this Raito side.
Yeah, and one thing, Raspberry going over to the Jericho here, you're going to be able to keep them alive a little bit longer now. The EC is not going to be as impressive, but that Pulse Bomb going to be able to find one Freed. Going in a little bit too far there. No one on Central Michigan wanted to try to follow them up. They were just being taken out as fast as Freed was right there. And now again, Central Michigan just trying to run away as Raito, looking like a completely different team than what we saw in that first point. Like I said several times, but at the moment now, they're just looking very, very dominant.
Yeah, Ash is doing a very great way of aggressive work, but Freed able to get a pickup on the Ontos here could be could be good for them. But yeah, Central Michigan, you still have two DPS ultimates to pop. This could go up in your favor, but with Tuna popping that orbital ray tax, the more pressure is going to come.
Overclock coming out here from Skittles. They're trying to find anything here. They will be able to find Tuna. They do get the points, but Freed finds Celery out as well. So now there is no more supports on the side here for Raito, and you're just seeing them back up because of it. Ash not going to be able to escape. Will be taken out here, and Central Michigan, talk about a fight they desperately needed to go their way. I thought when we saw that orbital ray come out from Tuna right there, Raito was going to win it there and win the point and win the map.
Yeah, as you said about that orbital ray, I thought it was going to shut down everything for this Central Michigan side up on this first map, but look at this. They're coming back up in percentage and almost to the 60% mark, and they do have some ultimates to pop, but here we go. You get to see this.
Nano Blade out here. Anto's looking for anyone they can. They will be able to find Turtle now. Sight set on to Raspberry. Not to be able to find them out there, though, from Abusive Chick with the grab. Going to be able to shut that down and find the Echo after that there. And now you're seeing everyone for Central Michigan to try to stall out as long as they can, but It's a 5v1. It was going to be a very tough situation right there, but Raito back in control, and I don't think Central Michigan can get back in time. It doesn't look like that will be the case. We will see one final touch there from Turtles. That should basically do it. Freed getting denied with that punch right there, and will be taken out with the pulse bomb. Raito bouncing back from a rough first point to just be very, very dominant to end this map.
Yeah, as you said, maybe they're just trying to target these college teams and have a better, momentum builder. But yeah, Raito, this has been pretty interesting. I wasn't expecting Raito to do this, but yeah, very, very good looks from this Raito side. If you are Central Michigan, though, you got to think some things over. You obviously have these hero bands, right? And you're also heading up into this next map. But Central Michigan could just shift up the series here. It was definitely close, I would say, but that secondary map up on Busan was nowhere close to what we got to see Central Michigan up on that first.
Yeah, and I mean, both these teams talked about wanting to play dive and really liking to play dive, but once Raito got off the dive and went over to the Zarya comp, it looked completely different. They looked like a completely different team, and Central Michigan, they just struggled into it. It wouldn't surprise me here. Central Michigan, I mean, if Raito just decides to stick with running that Zarya comp, it looked incredible there, and Central Michigan had no good response for it.
Yeah, Raito has just been, phenomenally great up on that Zarya composition, as we got to see from that map 1. I wouldn't be surprised if that were to be a ban coming out. Maybe we could see more of the dive variant, but their Zarya composition was great. Even the Genji gameplay, that also was insane. But yeah, let's see what Central Michigan could do with this hero band pick, but as well heading up into the next map, they gotta think something over. Their minds could be crossed, especially after what Raito just did with their Zarya. But yeah, I don't know what Central Michigan could do.
I mean, it's very interesting because you don't want to ban out the Zarya now and leave it there for the rest of the series. If you're Central Michigan, you're probably not go for that ban. You're going to hold on to it for a later kind of map here.
Yeah.
Both of them want to run dive. Coliseo, a decent dive map, but you normally do see teams run a lot of brawl, a lot of poke, a lot of rush here. Yeah, those first points each side that set the forward spawns do have good diveable spots, but after that it becomes very difficult to find a lot of success with dive. So I think we'll see teams kind of go away from that, even though they both really do enjoy playing the dive here. But Nyah, it sounds like we're starting to get some of the bans in here, and well, no tanks are being banned, so the Zarya is on the table.
Interesting. So Zarya is still going to be up in play, and after what we got to see off of that map 1, Dex, it was really dominant from Raito, and I wouldn't be surprised if they were able to play this more here up on Coliseo, but dive could be also more favored up into this, but even a rush composition. But Torb and Moira getting picked here from both of the teams. These are interesting ones.
I mean, the Torb makes sense with Central Michigan since they were playing Hazard a decent amount there. They don't want to have that pressure knowing that this is a map that Hazard can find a decent amount of value on. It really felt like in the later halves of Busan that they were forcing that Hazard a little bit too much there at times. So this is a map, you get rid of the Torb, you only have to deal with the Symmetra. That's something you can do pretty easily. Moira on the other side, even though you're banning that, we did see that come out from Central Michigan there on that first map. But I think that actually kind of helps out their team a little bit. I don't think the Moira was necessarily doing enough there. I think it actually will force Central Michigan into playing a little bit more of a standard kind of composition that you would expect to see from a dive team.
Yeah, and look at this. Up on the Coliseo pick, they have a better favor heading up into this Coliseo map. So can Raito do back to this Central Michigan side of things? I think yes, because if they were to run the Zarya, I still think it could get countered, obviously. But yeah, Central Michigan here going up into this map pick, they have a favor. They think that they're gonna do something, hopefully. But yeah, Central Michigan, let's just try and cook something up.
Yeah, and I mean the Chippewas here really just need to kind of calmed down a little bit. It seemed like towards the back half of Busan right there, they were getting a little bit kind of flustered, a little bit kind of all over the place. They were not looking like how they were playing on that first point where everything was kind of coordinated. It might have been because Raito was playing that ball comp. It allowed the tank there for Central Michigan to kind of go out and do a little bit more on their own because they knew the ball wasn't going to do a lot. Because what we saw from the ball for Raito was they would come in, pile drive down, then roll out. They weren't really trying to follow up on anything themselves. They were just hoping that cause a little bit of disruption. But when you have a hazard on the other side, you need to be trying to find a couple more picks so you're getting that hazard to peel back here. So once they got off the ball, it worked out a lot better for them. But right now, Central Michigan, you just need to get something back here. You need to make this a very convincing map. Like I said, they've brought every series to 4. They haven't ever won any of the first maps, and they continue that trend, sadly. But they've always followed up by winning map number 2.
Yeah, and looking at map number 1, they were fighting up on that last sector, which was Mecha base. But yeah, if you're Central Michigan here, you do have stuff to favor. You could run a different composition against Raito, which did surprise you, but this is now Coliseum. You got a different map type, you can run different types of compositions. So let's see, Freed's going to be running out of the hazard comp. So yeah, this is pretty well expected, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, when we saw that Tor ban come out, you kind of had a new Central Michigan was going to stick with the hazard here. On the other side, though, I mean, if we saw the Doom, they're going back over to the Zarya now. I mean, they might just be telling Central Michigan, like, hey, we're going to play this until you can beat it.
Yeah, I truly do see this coming out here from Raito. I think it was pretty dominant, and I like the decision here on rolling this out, but they still need to be careful here because Central Michigan does have a little more experience heading forth up into this one.
Yeah, Lucio back for the first time. Remember, they were banned out that first map here, so Raspberry maybe a little bit more comfortable on the Lucio here. Banu coming in here as well. We have a couple subs here. Zach coming in for Abusive Chick on the side. Central Michigan as well here. So Central Michigan making 2 subs here, and they're already off to a little bit of a good start here. They're starting to actually pressure out Ash here a decent amount, and Zach going to be able to clean them up. This is the start that Central Michigan was looking for, but you really could not afford to lose Raspberry there. They were basically a lot of your pressure, and that was an interesting play there coming out from Celery.
Yeah, and if you're Central Michigan, you do have these picks favoring you, but look at it, right? So they are escorting this, but it does get contested and it's getting pushed back. But Central Michigan, they're looking good. They're just trying to charge up these DPS ultimates as fast as possible. But yeah, if you're Raito, you still got places to play. Ash could do what they did up on map 1 with the Zarya and surprise the Central Michigan team, or Freed could just pull something out as we get to see right here.
Going to be coming in there to get slow down Freed a little bit, but it's going to be Surly that falls out here first. Freed going to follow up on the Fancy Food, and Nyah, this might be point fight. This might be fight and point capped up here. Nice kind of fall up there by Raspberry. Make sure Onto's not going to be able to last a little bit longer in that fight. And I mean, I love this aggression coming out here from Central Michigan. The Zarya, it has been being, if you're Raito, do you make that swap now?
Yeah, it's gonna be something to definitely look forward to, but let's see, maybe they can get back up into this one. You still have these ultimates up in your economy. But yeah, Central Michigan, as you did quote, they are pushing this, and you're looking at the meterage right now. It's nowhere close to what Raito is.
Blade coming out from Ontis, hoping to find anything here. They're trying to get rid of pretty nice boost there by Raspberry, 2 feet alive, but the Blade is just going to be a little bit too much for them to handle there. Central Michigan, I mean, they had ultimates here. You will find a trade back, but you're already down your tank, and you're going to be down a lot more here with Raspberry. If you're Central Michigan, it might just be time to back out of this one here and just kind of fight for the next fight here.
Yeah, and even save all these ultimates, right? Central Michigan, they look good with their ultimate economy so far, but if you are Raito, you do have these 3 that you could use against the Central Michigan side to possibly force out ultimates. If that were to happen here, Dex, I feel like that would favor Raito more up in these scenarios, but they do need some meterage, at least, just something.
Able to get rid of Salt right there. That would have been a huge early pick there. Now Central Michigan's playing very aggressive. Yeah, the anti on the Freed and Raspberry not going to do a lot there as the Ana will go, but Raito almost getting that cart push going back their own way here finally. Bought back in control here by Central Michigan, and so looking just to find that next be the pick right there. The downpour coming out, not going to be able to find anyone. As a huge Suzu coming out there from Fancy Tuna, and now there's that follow-up you're looking for Central Michigan. 2 out, about to be 3 here. Onto is going to fall there to Freed, and now Central Michigan should get those forward spots. They have them right there, and they get Sparkles to boot.
Yeah, and like phenomenal work from the Central Michigan side. They're still saving these ultimates for a particular moment up in this Coliseum, but you do get Salt there with the pickup onto Barry, so maybe this could just be a chance that Raito can shoot their way back up with their 4 ults that could get popped any second now.
Coming out, grab out on the other side as well. The pulse bomb though, Freed might have been able to survive it there, but the rest of their team really won't. Right, so gotta be able to only use those 2 ultimates right there to win them that fight. And I mean, Central Michigan, they invested 2 of their own in that one. You are probably wishing you had those back right now if you're the Chippewas.
Yeah, because now you're able to look at Raito. They have these 2 support ultimates ready to go. Same with Ontos. They're charging up that blade. So again, Dex, we could possibly just get to see that Nano Blade come out from this Raito side, but look at this Sojourn.
Overclocking out here from the Skittles. Looks like they have the card that gives them 150 when they are overclocking here, but they're struggling to find anything, and they won't. They will not find anything. They'll actually be taken out. Freed, though, going to be able to trade out Ash, and now you're seeing Central Michigan come in with a lot of help from Raspberry Speedway there to clean up this fight, and Antu's not going to be able to escape this time around. Freed will find them yet again. Forward spawns back in control here by the Chippewas, and they'll probably be able to add on to their lead a little bit here as we hit the halfway point.
Yeah, it's looking like a Central Michigan team from that map 1 first point sector where they were truly dominant, and looking at that meterage, they're coming close to that 3 digits, and there we go. Look at this, so much on this.
Basically cancels out that downpour there again from Freed. The blade from Ontos, they're struggling to find anyone here. They're not going to be able to. Zach finding 2 Freed, though, taken out here. If you're Central Michigan, I mean, you have no one on the cart. You could have been adding a little bit more meterage to your lead here, but you already have about a 93 meter lead at the moment. You would have probably loved to have 100, but a large lead, less than half the time left in that time bank. You're feeling pretty good right now if you're Central Michigan.
So, yeah, if you are Central Michigan, as you did quote, definitely, they are doing a great job. Sitting at 107, this is definitely different pace from this side of things with their composition that did get shut down up on the map 1 from Ash playing that Zarya, but I don't think the Zarya pick is working from this Raito side. Maybe it can.
But Salt's going to be able to find Freed there. I mean, this is the one thing that Raito has really struggled to have this entire map. It's just a little bit of momentum, a little bit of pressure. Now that they're able to get the bot back in their control, start pushing it, they're not far away from a grab. There's really nothing on the other side that can cancel it out, so you might be looking good here right now if you're right to start clawing your way back into this one here, but you cannot play as aggressively as you've been playing already this map, losing someone early. That disruptive shot, though, stuck onto Freed. The Consider's coming out with Venue. Now the grab coming out. Nice wall there, but Skittles going to be able to find one to grab. They're going to be able to get rid of that Kiriko on the other side, so a trade for a trade, but now you're starting to see Central Michigan just have a little bit more sustain in this fight here that should be able to carry them through.
Yeah, and this Lucio player, Dex, you know, Barry has just been doing what they could do, and it's pretty phenomenal to see a Lucio player do that. Just get highly aggressive, but you do have this B Matrix ready to go for the Central Michigan side, and you are pushing this bot back, and yeah, if you're Michigan, you don't gotta worry about anything. Look at the meterage, it's so far paced.
Yeah, and I mean, Raito uses a couple good ultimates right there. They're about to have a rally coming up, but it's not going to be enough to really save it for a lot of stuff that Michigan has here. Raspberry does have that beat ready to go, and they play aggressively like they did in the past. It might be something that wins them a fight very early on. Downpour coming out. The Suzu looks like he's going to be able to save everyone yet again. Suzu's coming out there from Tuna, have an incredible rally out there from Surly. Going to be able to do enough here to support their team. Freed, though, somehow still alive, but the sustain on this tank is insane. Skittles now in that backline, popping the overclock, finding one, looking for a second one here right now, doing a decent amount of damage, but oh, Ontos, you just dashed straight into that one there. Yeah, Ash, you're gonna find one, but Skittles will take you right back out, and now, wait, the bot! Certainly
They're
took
moving
the bot away!
Maybe this is good for Raito here, but yeah, if you are really, you might just get picked, but... Ooh, that's interesting.
I mean, you get the trade there. You were able to reset the spawn, so Freed might just push this up a little bit before they have to kind of fall back and wait for their team to come back here, but Raito, they're in a spot here where they can take control of the bot here. 100 seconds left on the clock, though.
Yeah, and let's see what Central Michigan can do here with Zach. They do have this pulse, and getting Tuna out of this fight, Dex, is huge.
Yeah, that's huge to get out of there here early. No Kasuni rush, no Suzu as well, but you're just starting to see Freed take over again, just pressuring out Ash there. Zach can be able to get credit for that kill, but again, the pressure coming out here from Central Michigan is what you're looking for. They're not pushing the bot. You don't really need to, but I mean, if you had one person on, you'd be getting right back here to maybe fully completing this map with time.
Yeah, and I mean, Zach has been just cooking so far up on this Tracer. Pulse Bomb's still ready to go. I'm really wondering what Zach is going to surprise us with here. But Central Michigan looking really dominant here. Freed once again up on that main support.
Another downpour, not really finding anything. Oh, the blade comes out, but Skittles puts a railgun shot through the head. There's the team kill, and that should be the map. Central Michigan just bouncing back here. You might see a couple touches coming out from Raito, but no way there's going to be any right there. There's that pulse bomb. They're right just for the right moment, but the Chippewas, or Central Michigan, wins.
Yeah, no Michigan there, but yeah, Central Michigan 1-1 now up in the series scoreline. This was definitely a better performance. Zach coming in did a great job up on the Tracer. They really coordinated around these corners, and especially these pulse bombs, as we got to see from this Tracer player. Very, very great. Now, you're right, yeah, it's very, very good here from Zach, but I kind of question, if the side of Raito still does play this Zarya, is it going to favor against Central Michigan? Because we did just get to see Coliseum, and it wasn't theirs. So I feel like now, if you're Raito, maybe just switch some things up. It's now 1-1. You could do a new favor, but Central Michigan looking so strong, Dex. Oh my.
Yeah, and we talked about coming into that map that Zarya was looking very good for Raito, and we said that, I mean, Central Michigan struggled with it, and basically it was just that Central Michigan needed to prove to Raito that they could beat that Zarya consistently, and hey, they did it there consistently on that map. And there was a point where both me and you said, like, okay, the Zarya's kind of ran its course, they should probably swap, and that was still with a little bit over halfway left in that map, or half the time left in that map. They just held on a little bit too long there. I think if they had gone back to something that they're a little bit more comfortable with, like the dive, like both teams kind of said, it might have been a little bit of a different story there. But I mean, the Zarya had its opportunities to find a lot of value, but I mean, Central Michigan, just as a whole team, they played a lot differently there. They're able to find picks early. That was something that they really struggled to do outside that first point back on Busan.
Yeah, and I liked what Freed did, but even as well, Zach, playing around the corners, positioning well with the Tracer, getting that backline abreast. But, you know, it is 1-1. You got this next map, but I do expect these teams to take a break, right?
Yeah, I will give the teams a break here. So, everyone, we'll throw it to a quick break and be right back with maps number 3, 4, and 5 of this series. Everyone, stick around. You're not going to want to miss it. All right, welcome back everyone to SPCS here. We have a tied series on our hands as Central Michigan was able to win a very, very dominant showing there on Coliseo over Raito here. But Nyah, I mean, tale of two maps right there. It was all Raito on that first map, especially after that first point. And then they stuck with the Zarya, maybe stuck with it a little bit too long there on Coliseo.
Yeah. Yeah, Raito needed the switch there, and Raito didn't do that. But maybe heading up into the next one, they could think some things over. It is going to be that watch point Gibraltar, and as we did get the talk during break, maybe we're able to see that dive v dive happen. But I still wouldn't be surprised if we could just see a slim margin of that poke. But taking Ana out of the scene here, Dex? Oh.
I'm honestly been surprised at the ban so far this series. I mean, we know what both teams like to run here, but neither of the teams are really going for dive tanks or trying to get tanks out here. They're basically kind of saying they probably feel comfortable with the other team's tank here, and they want to get rid of, well, the Ana here. Both teams played a really good Ana. We know Central Michigan got basically punished by that Ana all the way back in Busan. Getting rid of the Trace, though, on the other side, yeah, we saw what Zach was able to do, especially towards the end of Coliseo. But, I mean, that just opens the door up for other heroes that you normally see the Tracer players play.
Yeah, and, you know, probably more aggression from the side of those players coming out with possibly their hero picks going up into this one. But yeah, this is definitely going to be exciting. It's tied up in the series. Maybe we could go far distance, but I know person doesn't want that. But, yeah, Central Michigan, very, very good. After that Coliseo win there, a different storytelling from the Central Michigan side. But if you look at the map one, it was close up in the first, but it just fell apart towards the end.
Yeah, absolutely. Here, I mean, you're seeing why we're going to Watch Point Gibraltar. I mean, it's Raito here, 100% win rate on this map. Central Michigan looks like they're actually struggling when they play any escort maps here, so might have gone into the factoring here for Raito. Before we head into the map, though, we do have one more sub coming back in here. Central Michigan going to be bringing back in Turtles in for Van, who Van did a good job on that support line last map. Bringing Turtles back in, though, you're probably seeing it for, like I said, a specific reason. You normally, at this point, see it only for that reason.
Yeah, maybe a different switch up coming out. Yeah, definitely not too surprised with this substitution, but this could just lead for them. But Watch Point Gibraltar, this is going to be one to watch. Both of the teams want to get a win here and possibly get another win after this, leading fourth in the points. But you're looking at a number 18 seed fighting a number 2 seed. Well, no, sorry. Not a number 2 seed. Number 20. What am I talking about? Watch Point Gibraltar, though. Yeah, Dex, this is gonna be great. Winton home territory. It's gonna be fantastic.
Technically, anyone who's associated with Overwatch is home territory now. But Winston's coming out from both sides here, and I'm honestly surprised by that. I really thought Central Michigan would stick with the hazard here, especially since it wasn't banned out. But I mean, they kind of know that this map is really just kind of dominated by the Winston.
Indeed.
Yeah, and you know they need their peanut butter. They're eating with their well they're using the banana with peanut butter, right? If you are playing Winston here up on this one, but yeah, this is gonna be nice to see. Both teams are gonna be running out up on this Winston composition, but it's gonna be interesting to see what these backlines could do because you don't have Ana and you're not playing Brig, so let's just see a different pace and tempo from both of the teams.
Turtle coming back in here. Remember, they played that Moira the first map. Moira was banned out last map, and Raspberry on the BAP. I mean, there's a decent amount of damage that can come out from the support line for Central Michigan, so it's going to be very hard to kind of try to dive on them here, especially with Zach on the board as well. There's the dive out there, though, from Ash, but you immediately see the counter dive there from Central Michigan, trying to keep everyone alive. Good job by both teams so far, just playing very safe here. You don't want to make the first mistake and Breed. Ooh, they made the first mistake right there, and that could be a very, very costly one here for the Chippewas.
Yeah, and Raito, they're looking good so far. They are pressing this scene back, but you look at Ash getting there, and Zach is able to get the pick here.
unfortunate, but they're able to get some support here from Turtles. But, I mean, even with the slight mistake there by Free, they're able to kind of just restabilize here. Oh, Ontos, you thought you were going to be escaping to safety there. Instead, you just escaped to a lot of molten metal being shot into your body.
Yeah, and I like what both of the teams are with their variety coming out with their compositions, as you did for the Moiras up in play, and we're gonna be coming up on some ultimates too. But look at this, you are Ash. You're probably gonna aggress this backline here, just try and target out that Torp turret possibly, but you got Salt with that duplication up on the side of Raito.
And right now, I mean, duplication ready. The Coalescence is ready here for Turtles, but you're probably not using that until you see some other ultimates come out there for Raito. Right now, Central Michigan, though, just doing a good job kind of playing space here, but there's the Coalescence coming out from Turtles. It's really just used to keep Freed alive. They're Freed now with the counter dive back on that high ground, gonna fall back down to safety here for a moment, but each team playing smart here. Captain Sun coming out, they're looking to find one there. They're gonna be able to find one on the Raspberry, not gonna be able to get the detonation, but looks like Ash, though, is gonna be able to just charge in there. Certainly gonna be able to find them there finally with the detonation, but still, Kills just going back and forth here. And Turtle, I mean, we talked about this here. That back line for Central Michigan, very, very scary, especially with how much damage they can put out. But it doesn't necessarily matter when the rest of your team is dead.
Yeah, trades are happening back and forth, but you're able to see Raito more up in the kill feed there towards that end. But both of the teams do have this ult up in their economy. 3 up on the side if you are Raito, and 4 up on the side if you are Central Michigan. Central Michigan is going to be popping at least something here. And,
they might not be popping anything.
Yeah.
Well, no, but actually, they do decide to invest into this one here. I don't like this play from them. I think you kind of just gave up a couple of very, very strong ultimates. I think once you lost those first 2 very early on there, Central Michigan kind of just need to back up, hold on to the Molten Coal, hold on to that Primal Rage here, because now you just kind of put yourself a little bit behind here, especially with the Raspberry getting staggered out there by just not remembering they could stay in spawn and just move to that further spawn a little bit back with the rest of their team.
Yeah, and maybe we could see Central Michigan here just do more of pressuring up on the side of Raito. But you look at Raito, they're moving this card here. They have this Primal ready to go, but look at this. The Primal's going to be popped, and they're just going to be doing something with that.
And the juggle in the corner there, and now you have to be very careful here for Central Michigan. You don't want to be juggled off the map. Ash going to be able to get that large health pack there, looking for the jump to get out. They're going to be able to do that, but look at where this card is already. Raito's done a great job just kind of pushing it through. It's only really been one true engagement. Central Michigan, though, you're going to have ultimates here. You're going to have a lot, so this should be your way back in, especially finding Salt out early is exactly what you need to just get a little bit of pressure here onto Raito, and it looks like you're going to be able to do that. Turtles now investing in Coalescence here, trying to keep everyone alive. Will find one, but Ontos gonna be able to find Zach. They're in that backline. They're not gonna be able to save Raspberry there. But if you're Central Michigan, I mean, you need to kind of play smart here. You're gonna be able to find Ontos, but card, please.
Yeah, I thought that they were gonna C9 that, but duplication coming out here from Salt, so more pressure.
Captain Sun again coming out here from Surly. But Skittles going to be able to find one with their overclock so far. Captain Sun going to completely miss this time around, but Sergeant Skittles, they are popping off this DPS line for Central Michigan. Going to be able to stabilize the cart here for a moment. You do lose Turtles in that back line there, but Salt immediately going to kind of get out of that duplicate here, and now just be staggered out. Yeah, guys, don't waste time.
Raito is going to be switching to this Kiri now, and it's going to be the different pace for them setting for it. But if you are Central Michigan, I like what they've been doing here, Dex. They're really just more control for this side here.
I don't like that. Raspberry just playing a little bit too far out there, gets their head taken off there, and now Raito has a good opportunity here to go in. Zach uses that duplicate here just to make sure they have 2 Winsons on the board at the moment. To be able to slow down Raito here for a moment, but also still got the blade ready to go, and you know they're looking for it. Probably going to pair it up here with that Orbital Ray here from Fancy 2, but Zach can be able to Primal Rage here for a moment, sticking his about not land on anyone. You do have the Orbital Ray coming out here from Tuna, just trying to find anyone they can. Freed, though, I mean, probably don't want to be running into what they're running into here. Will be staged for a brief moment. Here comes the blade. Ontos, though, looking very low.
Getting healed.
Healed right back up. Zach, though, will fall to the blade, and this should be the second point here. Goes over to Raito here, unless Central Michigan is able to pull some sort of rabbit out of a hat here, but no, the Chippewas aren't able to do that this time.
Something that was very, very important to quote here out of that last fight is Ontos got healed, and Ontos, if they didn't, they would have died without the blade, and yeah, I mean, Raito has just been pretty good so far. They're still pushing this one, but if you are Central Michigan, you're really just trying to set your foot back up into this, and they are looking at Ash.
Central Michigan has definitely gotten better as this entire round has gone on here. They're starting to play a little bit smarter here. I say that as Turtle is definitely out of place right there, and Ash going to be able to punish them. So now if you're Central Michigan, losing Zach as well, you're going to kind of need to fall back. Consumers coming out here from Turley as they want to play fast here, and it's going to work out for them like a charm. The only one left alive right now is Skittles, who just runs back to spawn here.
Yeah, and if you're Raito, you're still pushing this. You got ultimates to pop. I wouldn't be surprised if we were able to see a primal pop, but cool lessons on the side of Central Michigan.
There's the primal coming out here from Ash, looking like they were going to try to knock some people off the point, but everyone on Central Michigan doing a good job just running away. Sergeant Skittles, though, gets juggled to death right there, and now Raito in a really good spot right now. Pull-ups coming out here from Salt, going to be able to find one, looking to try to find a second one. Will help Fizz to find Freed right there, but a great round here for Raito here. Central Michigan, they look like they were holding a little bit steady there on that second point, but once Raito got through that, it was just smooth sailing to completion.
Yeah, still very, very close though. You're looking at Raito, which was dominant up on map 1, but a little short. Well, matter of fact, it was very short. Raito, not good looking up on Colosseo, but you're looking at this. Watch points. They're doing a great job. They did cap this one with 49 seconds. They're sitting at the 3 mark. But if you're Central Michigan, now you are up on this opposing side, which you can pull out some factors against this Raito team and just try and do something. I definitely see the pace here from the Central Michigan side, but I feel like they're going to get red.
I mean, coming out the gate, you see Winston again, kind of what we expected to see. Surly, I mean, give them a lot of credit. We didn't really talk about them a lot, especially when they came out on that ELRA, but they did a great job there. I mean, Captive Sons necessarily weren't really hitting that often, but when they did, they really helped their team win a lot of fights. They just did a great job. We didn't mention them enough there. But on the other side, if you're Central Michigan, I think this is the right move. Bring back out the hazard here. You're going to be able to basically kind of outlive whatever damage Salt's going to be able to throw you when they're in that tank configuration.
Yeah, and you don't got to worry about Azaria, right? Raito's going to be running that Winston composition with their side of things. But yeah, if you're Central Michigan, maybe this is a good chance to do something against Raito.
And right now, I mean, I like how Central Michigan's playing this here. They're not going to try to just dive up there immediately. They know that's not the thing you're looking to do, but Reed going to go up there, at least try to sneak their way up there. However, when you're, a big tank like that, it's going to be very hard to be sneaky here, but then trying to disrupt that back line. Already knocked Surly off that high ground. Nice wall to keep him alive here, and try to actually do a good job forcing out this turret form. This will allow a good counter dive to come out here in a moment.
Yeah, and Central Michigan still working their way with this one. Skittles able to get the pick up on the Surly, but look at that. Sprayed up onto Salt. That's taking out 2 of the members of Raito.
And right now, Raito, they just have to kind of fall back here and try to regroup. Tuna's gonna be... Oh, why'd you jump back up there? Gonna be able to not escape there, and that's gonna be first point going over here to Raito. Ontos, though, you're gonna get a touch, but you're already burning here. Probably not the best move coming out from them, as Turtles are gonna be able to find Ash. Ontos gonna be punished for their hubris right there. Point 1 or point A capped here by Central Michigan. All gas, no brakes there, Nyah.
Yeah, Central Michigan, they're looking really good here. This is different from them as far, but now you get to see Zach playing this upper position. They're scouting this support line, and you do have this Kiri playing with you if you are Zach. But look at this. Raito does read this.
Again here, Ash is diving back out there to keep himself alive, and this will be another quick fall back here from Raito. Salt not going to be able to escape there. The dynamite damage going to be able to take care of them here. And if they're able to find Ash, I mean, again, we kind of saw this on the first point. Central Michigan just winning team fights pretty early on. You're going to see a late couple staggers here. Touches coming out from Raito, but it's just not going to be enough.
Yeah, overall, if you are Central Michigan, I like what they're doing to aggress this work and pace up in their comp. Freed has been doing a great job, and Overall, Zach has been phenomenal, but talking about that support line, you do lose Barry there against Salt, but Sergeant Skittles able to get Salt there, so more up on the side, leading forth into the Central Michigan. And look at the time bank, Dex. That's 5 minutes and 40 seconds. Raito didn't have as much time heading up into the third, and this is just looking really good for the Central Michigan.
Yeah, and it was really because Central Michigan kind of locked down on defense at that second point until Raito was able to break through, and then Central Michigan's never really looked the same here. But the difference in the competition here for Central Michigan, having this hazard, and especially with Salt kind of sticking on this, basically sticking on the back, is kind of hurting them out here. Rally though coming out here for Surly, just gonna try to do whatever they can. Pull us coming out from the other side. There's the overclock as well. Now Mortar coming out here, just going straight on the point. Actually, hell, it looks like they're trying to go for Skittles. Not gonna be able to find them there just yet, but right now Central Michigan doing a good job. And finally, they get rid of Freed. And if you're Raito, this needs to be your opportunity to win a fight. Yeah, Ontos picking up the slack here, 3, and it's gonna be forcing a fallback here from Central Michigan.
Pontos is doing what they could do up on Raito, and you got the Blade ready to go. You even got this Tuna Orbital Ray here from Tuna, which could be popped. But now you're looking at Central Michigan, right? They have this Kitsune Rush to re-engage, but look at the time bank. They really don't got to worry about too much. The only thing that they need to do is catch him out of the opposition.
And right now, I think if you're Central Michigan, you kind of want to play a little bit faster. You don't want the Sparkles to get that grab up, but Orbital Ray coming out here for chance to Freed could be able to pencil on that high ground, but now Zach falls as well. Blade coming out from Ontos. Huge shoots there to keep at least him alive for another second longer right there. Skittles though will be able to shut down Ontos as again Central Michigan is gonna need to kind of reset here. I mean, still 4 minutes on that time bank here, Nyah. It's not like you're necessarily hurting yourself at the moment.
Yeah, Central Michigan still has time here. Free's ultimate is going to be up on board. You still have berries, but you're looking at Raito, which is now just trying to control this side of Michigan as much as possible. But look at this.
There's going to be no peel back there from Free since Tuno's able to take him out. The grab is all you're going to need here if you're Raito. Central Michigan, again, you're going to lose a decent amount of time here, but at this point, Nyah, I think you kind of have to start thinking about that time bank if you're the Chippewas.
Yeah, you're now just eliminating more time and more time if you keep on getting stopped. You've got to push this Raito team back with at least something, and they do have something up on the board. Can Free do what we want them to do?
Outboard coming out, looks like it's not going to land on anyone again here. Certainly going to pop that rally here, trying to keep all their team alive, but I mean, no one's dealing with Salt on the high ground. They're just pumping in damage. No one is dealing with anything right now for Central Michigan, as they're already just trying to run backwards again. And Nyah, like I said after the last fight, that time bank is now something that is definitely coming into play here if you're Central Michigan.
And they might just be fumbling the bag. Central Michigan getting stopped here after once again a tough fight against Raito up in this third point sector. But yeah, as you did quote, Salt has been doing a great job getting more of his damage pressure up on the Central Michigan, but let's see what Skittles could do. Maybe a pick? Yeah.
They're going to be able to find Surly there, but I like what I saw there actually. It's Surly up on that high ground, actually kind of protecting Salt there. We saw when Free jumped up there, they immediately fell right back down because they were pressured down there. And now that 5-minute time bank down to 2 here if you're Central Michigan. And because of how fast these fights are going, you're really not building up ultimates either.
Yeah, and Ultimate Economy has just been more up on the side of Raito. They're controlling this space more, so more goes up into the factor for them. But look at this, Zach just trying to control something, but that Graviton and Ontos is in.
That grab blade combo is as strong as ever. 3 members already out. You're seeing Freed try to take care of Ontos right there, but they're going to have to just fall back. No, they're actually committing into this here. I don't hate the play, especially if you can find Freed out. That immediately makes
fantastic.
Michigan get under a minute. And Nyah, there's a chance that Raito will have a time bank lead here if Central Michigan is even able to finish now.
Yeah, I don't know. With how much time Central Michigans have been, getting stopped here up into this one against Raito, it's going to be something to question. But you have Salt just opposing more pressure and pressure up on this side. But look at Central Michigan. They're popping everything, basically.
That downpour finds stuff this time. However, you're only able to find Ontos here. Artillery coming out all on the point. Some damage coming out, but as long as Ash is alive, in my opinion, Raito is in every engagement here. That charge is incredibly high, but they're finally being pressured out. But that time bank lead is no more. Raito has it back in their control, but Salt on that high ground, not being pressured out at all. Freed now has to kind of stay on the cover. You finally see them get on that high ground, going to force Salt back low there, but they're very low, and now Central Michigan, that huge time bank is gone. You have one more fight.
As I said, I think they are fumbling the bag here for your Central Michigan. This is very unfortunate. They were leading up into this one with 5 minutes and 30, and yeah, that time was just taken down by numbers, and Raito playing just phenomenally with these 2 ultimates ready to go. I don't, okay, wait.
Grab coming out here, and it goes on to the right person right there, getting rid of Raspberry, forcing out that Kitsune Rush very early on. 3 members, make it 4 members of the Chippewas out. Last one left alive is Turtles, but they could only do so much. Wow. Over 5 minutes on that time bank coming into this 3rd point. Raito holds strong to put themselves on the series point.
I would be very, very disappointed if you are Central Michigan. They had 5 minutes there, almost 6 minutes. Taking that time bank and not getting much out of it is very, very unfortunate. So with Raito able to control that, they did swap to the Zarya too, and they were opposing that hazard pick, and they just kept on controlling it over and over again. Just really great work from this side of Raito against Central Michigan, and they definitely deserved it. Salt was up there, up on the bridge. Dominant performance with the damage coming out. They were always there to find some, but Central Michigan, you're in a tough space after this one.
Yeah, absolutely. And when you talk about points and maps that you can hold for a long period of time, I think 3rd point, Watch Point, is one you don't normally talk about being up in that kind of conversation, but just a great defense out there by Raito. Just kind of hold it all down there. But now if you're Central Michigan, you kind of have to feel a little bit disappointed after that performance right there, because you were looking great. I even said as that map was going on, you're looking better and better and better, but then 3rd point came to them, and it's like they just hit a brick wall, and they hit the brick wall over and over and over and over again, hoping they would eventually be able to get it to crack, but no, it wasn't a brick wall, it was a tungsten wall.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of like those driving tests that they have at those facilities, and they just launch a car to like a wall and it just smashes right up in and they can't go anywhere. But yeah, Central Michigan, they're sitting up in a tough spot now. You have Raito that is up on the match point, as you did quote, so maybe they can get a map win. But it's going to be interesting to see what could happen with the bans. We did get to talk about the Zarya. Maybe the Zarya ban could happen.
I mean, this might be the time for it, but I mean, if you look at Central Michigan's season history so far, they're kind of staying their course here. They have always lost the 1st map, always win the 2nd map, and continuing the trend here, always losing the 3rd map, but then they bounce back in the 4th map, either winning or drawing here. So it looks like we're gonna be heading to Paricio here with our 4th map of the night. I mean, again, another kind of dive map at points, especially with how prevalent high ground is here. Zarya can find a lot of value as well. Like we kind of said, those close corners areas really did help out the hazard play there from Central Michigan, especially on Coliseo. I think that it will come back into play here on Paricio.
Yeah, and I feel like we might just see a target ban up onto a tank here. And yeah, it's going to be that Zarya from Central Michigan. So no surprise to that one. But Raito picking the Kiri. So you don't have Cleanse. You don't have the Kitsune Rush. No TPs out. You don't got to worry about that. But as you did say, Paricio is a dive heavy map. So we could possibly see Brig Anna for a backline. Poke could be something to favor with BAP. BAP windows are pretty huge, especially up in the open space, but it's going to be interesting to see.
Well, in my opinion, I think we're going to end up seeing probably the Anna and Juno on the side of Raito. That's kind of been something that has been working very well for them throughout the entire night. On the other side, though, Central Michigan, I think you're going to have the Anna there. You're going to probably have Turtle back out on the Moira. It seems like they really favor that pick here. And you see the map stats here. Paraiso, Central Michigan, 1-0 on it here. So a good kind of map pick here for them. But on the other side, Raito hasn't necessarily lost a map in Escort or in Hybrid at all this season.
Yeah, and maybe they never even thought to pick Paraiso. But yeah, this is a good pick from Central Michigan. They're picking a map that they have one up on. But yeah, it's interesting. You get to see this Raito team. They do get to take that win up on New Bonnie, but it doesn't lead the factor for Central Michigan. So this is great for Central Michigan. I feel like they can definitely get back up into this one with this. They could even target that Zarya like how we got to see with the hero ban, so no Zarya, they don't got to worry about that. But even the backlines are just going to be great from both the sides. I expect that to be heavy, but as well, there's going to be so much pressure.
Absolutely. But at the same time, like one thing we really haven't actually seen from Raito the rest of this night has been the other tanks they can really play here. We saw Ball a little bit, but it didn't really work out for them. They struggled on it. Then they came out with a Zarya, and it looked great. Even sticking with it on Colosseo, where it really struggled. We saw a decent amount of Winston last map from them, and man, the Winston looked great, but they made the right swap to the Zarya towards the end, and it looks like they're going to be sticking with the Winston, and I don't hate that pick here from Raito, especially with Ashe. They look like they are a very good Winston player, but Nyah, what do you think of the Mercy pick?
The Mercy pick is definitely going to be interesting. Maybe they can do more of the damage boosting up onto Sergeant Skittles or even Zach. I know Skittles has been hitting some good shots there and then, but even Zach, right? We got to see the Tracer gameplay from them. The damage boost could come up in clutch, but if the Mercy does get caught, you're going to be seeing only one healer. So can this be good for Central Michigan? It's going to be interesting because you're heading up against Ashe playing the Winston, which could just dive on you anytime.
Well, we have Raspberry there as well, so they're going to be a big part of trying to get both Turtle alive and just making sure Ashe really struggles with the coming here. Waldo coming out, and I think Freed put themselves on the wrong side of that wall. Salt could be able to pick up right where they left off towards the end of Wall Point, finding out that tank very early on. But Raito, you're kind of playing a little bit slow at the moment, not going for a full dive, getting set up for one. Oh.
Yeah, able to get Zach there. That is a good pick, and this will definitely force the Central Michigan team back to regroup, but maybe they could get a touch to re-engage.
There's the anti-drone onto them. They do have the damage on them now, starting to heal up a little bit by Turtles. But I love how Raito's playing this here, trying to force them back here at the moment. But you're there. Not gonna touch though. You're gonna give up the first point there in 5.5 minutes on the time bank here for Raito.
So Raito looking good with the numbers so far, and that ultimate economy is charging up from both of the sides. But if you're Central Michigan, you're going to have this Valkyrie, and that could get placed anywhere at any time. But yeah, Central Michigan needs to just read this Raito side of things. They do get to see Ashe take this upper.
Yeah, and right now, I mean, I like how Ashe is playing this here. They're flipping on high ground, faking that they're going to go up there, falling right back down. They're trying to bait Central Michigan and put themselves into a spot where you can see a little bit more of a fall up there, but Ashe has to fall back here for a moment, get to the safety of their healers as Surly kind of playing very far away, but there's a nice lead from Freed. They have the file throw on them to keep them alive, but there's finally something going Central Michigan's way, getting rid of Salt right there. Gets rid of a lot of that pressure that the Echo has been providing so far, and it looks like Central Michigan finally going to start to stabilize here for a moment.
Yeah, and ultimates are online from both of the sides. That bio grenade is launched. He's trying to heal the hazard, but look at this. If you're Ashe, you're able to get up into this one, and you're just trying to find something.
They got the nano thrown out onto them here. Freed gets the nano as well, and Fancy Tuna gonna dive, beat a wall there, but now the blade coming out here from Ontos, but the burning sensation is just a little bit too much for them to handle there. Trades evenly across the board right now, and oh, Freed. They have to feel bad after that one. They got juggled into a corner and taken out by themselves.
Yeah, and Freed did have that hazard ultimate. I was actually very grateful that ultimate didn't come out, but If you're Sergeant Skittles, you still got this ball into place. But if you're Raito, you gotta be aware of it because it is out.
And Salt, I mean, it seems like no one knows where Salt is right now, but Skittles throwing that bomb out there already gets rid of that support line. Free gonna be able to find Ontos here, and Central Michigan gonna be able to stabilize here just before point B captured by Raito.
Yeah, and this is good for Central Michigan here. They gotta defend as much as possible against Raito because Raito is up on that match point. But you're looking at Raito. Dex, they have no ultimate so far, and Central Michigan, they have Freed. So working with the Hazard ult, they could apply more pressure, or they can make a choice for themselves to not pop that.
I mean, right now, if you're Freed, you kind of need to hold on there for a moment. But, I mean, it comes out right there, finds a couple, but oh, they were baited into a small room, and Salt takes them out. Raito here, even without any ultimates, they do have that nano coming up here, can now play very, very aggressively, just waiting for Ash to come in here, it seems, and just clean up house. And now you see everyone from Central Michigan just trying to run away, but disrupting shot. Gonna be able to take down Ontos there, but it doesn't seem like anyone. Nope, there's a last second touch there from Central Michigan, and they desperately need something to go their way, but the sleep on the Freed is not something you were looking for. Valkyrie coming out here from Coach, trying to keep everyone alive, but an anti there on the Skittles. Make sure they will at least die. Nano's still available here for Surly, and they're going to throw it on to Ash, who was anti-ed, and they got it, but they're going to heal it up a little bit now. Central Michigan doing a real good job trying to hold on to this point here, but the moment Free dies, I will say that is the moment that point gets capped. Yep, that's exactly what happens.
Yeah, 3 minutes and 33 heading up into this one if you're Raito. They're looking really dominant here. Salt able to get pick after pick, but Ash able to follow up. Yeah, they're doing good. They got a good ultimate economy building. They will have these ults, so looking at 4. But Central Michigan, you're still up on this defense position. Maybe you could charge up Zach's ultimate and just try and position a nano, possibly?
Possibly. You need something to go your way here. At least need to put a little bit of this time bank down here. Raito playing it a little bit dangerously there, and the bubbles coming out from Ash is something we really haven't talked about enough here. They're doing such a good job to actually disrupting anything that, and all the healing going to Freed, but there's the nano thrown out onto Freed. Onto the will fall there, but the orbital ray coming out from Fancy might just be enough here to really start cleaning up this fight. Primal Rage coming up from Ash, Skittles was alive, but they still have some time here to throw some hands, and that's exactly what they're looking to do, trying to get rid of Turner. Not going to be able to do it just yet, but they fall back again. This has been something that's been killing Freed this entire map long, going a little bit too far, getting put to sleep, and then waking up Anti.
Yeah, talking about sleeves, we got to see that from both of the sides, and they are coming out each time and every now and then. But look at this. Raito able to just find more picks for the side of them, but Ontos still with the blade. This could be possible.
Skittles with the bombs coming out here, and they're going to be able to throw it on the point just to stall it out a little bit longer here. But Ontos pops the blade, does find 2 with it there. And as bomb goes away, there's going to be one more touch coming out, I assume. Yeah, you see Zach come out on the bench trying to buy some time however they can. For the moment they're taking off this earth is the moment that point gets capped. Down 4 coming out a little bit too late there. Raito completes the map with a healthy time bank.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely better than the watch point with only 2 digits. But yeah, Raito looking really good here. They're just trying to control as much space as possible against the Central Michigan team. But I feel like, Dex, Central Michigan know a plan against this Raito side. If this is a map that they have won up on before, and I wouldn't be surprised if they were to surprise this Raito side.
I mean, yeah, absolutely. But I mean, we've seen this before from Central Michigan. The tale of 2 halves, basically. The first one they kind of struggle, and they come back and look really good. I mean, it was what we just saw on Watch Point Gibraltar.
Yeah.
They looked like they were down and out on that defensive round the first time around, but then the attacking side came out, and it was like they were a completely different team. It looks like there was no stopping them, but then something shifted. And right now, if you're Central Michigan, the one thing that they've really struggled with doing at this point throughout the series has been making those swaps. We talked about a little bit here, making swaps at the right time. We saw it there at the end from Zach just to try to get a touch on the cart, but they need to do it a little bit sooner because the Hazard has been really killing them here with how far they go to try to get those slashes, but then they just put to sleep and then antied.
So, both teams will be running some sort of a poke variant, but a little bit of a mix with the Lucio coming up in. So, yeah, if you're Central Michigan, you're still going to apply this pressure up on your attacking phase, but you don't want to see another of what happened up on Watchpoint Gibraltar.
I love how Raito's playing this game so far. Ash is throwing out the shield at the perfect time here, playing on corner, really waiting for it to recharge here. And Central Michigan, I mean, without that dive factor here, they're showing a kind of a little bit of a problem here. They're just not necessarily moving themselves to that point fast enough here, especially losing Zach. You're gonna have to kind of wait here a couple seconds.
Yeah, and I like the space that certainly is playing up on the side of Raito. They're playing this back, and Tuna is able to read this too. So if Shirley doesn't get dived, they are able to communicate this. But if you're Central Michigan, you're switching some things up, and Freed is back up on the hazard, and oh.
Yeah, and this is gonna be the problem with Ash on this Sigma. I mean, it's gonna be exactly the same thing as being put to sleep. It's like this time, it's gonna be rocked and then put to sleep and then antied. It's a very difficult situation right now for Central Michigan. They need to try to change something up. Maybe a Winston would be a little bit of a better pick here if they want to try to run dive.
Rock is cooking up on the side of Raito. They do almost have an ultimate up on board. Salt's coming close to that, but Central Michigan, you're up in a tough space. We don't want to get to see that again, but Central Michigan could possibly get this victory.
I mean, look at how low everyone is on Raito here. They're falling back, but the supports need to start putting in double time here. But getting rid of Freed, you can now not have to put in as much double time, but you still need to get everyone back to a healthy point in which everyone is back now. But half that time bank is now gone for Central Michigan, and this is something I talked about here. This is the time they really need to make wholesale swaps right now because nothing seems to be truly working out for them.
Yeah, if you're Central Michigan here, you're looking at a 2-minute time bank to just try and do something, but the Rock does miss there. Yeah, if you are Raito, you still have these ultimates to pop, but Central Michigan just needs to find something, and they might have.
Well, there's something there onto Ontos, but you immediately lose Freed after that, and that is a trade that you will take every time if you are Raito. Salt going to be able to find Raspberry as their overclock kind of weans away right there. Ash finding Zach on the way out here. 90 seconds left, Nyah, and I mean, Central Michigan, they are coming up to ultimates.
Yeah, and Central Michigan, maybe this is your time to shine here. You're looking at a pretty good favor, but if you're Raito, I think everything. All right,
All right,
there we
we're
go.
back.
So, Raito looking with this ultimate of Tuna, but look at this. This is very good from Central.
Yeah, I mean, eventually you're going to have the ultimate advantage here if you are Central Michigan. You hadn't really used any beforehand. You had 5 going into that one. If you had lost it, it would not have been a good sign there. But you're finally going to be able to win a fight here, win this first point. You keep yourself alive here, which is all that Central Michigan is trying to do at this point.
Yeah, Central Michigan still here with 3 ultimates that they could pop anytime, anywhere, any place. But if you are Raito, you're looking good. You still have a minute and 45, but the time that was taken out of the bank for Central Michigan, they only got 3 minutes. So you don't want to get stopped like how you got stopped, but look at this. The pressure coming out from Raito up on the Central.
Afraid they're going to be able to escape this time, which is pivotal here to it's dying again.
Feed broke again. Well, that's that.
Oh, looks like my camera decided to die as well.
Oh. Alright, here we go, Dex. Let's see what happens. 2 support ultimates versus a DPS and a support.
We're already down 1 support right now with Raspberry dying. Turtle's going to invest, trying to keep Freed alive, which they will be able to do that here. But right now, in Central Michigan, you need to find a numbers advantage here. Get rid of someone. Hey, you're going to be able to find that when you find Surly out. But the flux coming out from Ash, Freed has to kind of shield themselves. They're not
Get it, though.
enough there. Turtles, though, will get the trade. So Central Michigan still alive here. They need to start picking up these remaining stragglers. But Onto pops the blade. They're going to be able to find Turtles and Raspberry out as well.
Yeah, Onto's able to find multiple picks here. If you are Raito, though, very good. Still building that ultimate economy as we get to see 3 ultimates up on the board for them. And I wouldn't be surprised here, Dex, if they were able to combo that Nano to possibly Salt, or even Tuna getting aggressive with that Orbital Ray to just push the Central Michigan team back. But you have Freed's ultimate coming up on the board for Michigan, but look at this.
Out here, Salt does have that overclock, and almost the Ajax with Raspberry gonna be able to come back down to earth a little bit quicker there. Certainly gonna be the first one to die here, as Central Michigan again just keeping themselves aloft in this map. Freed will be able to find Salt there. Look at the health bars for Raito. Very, very low. Onto's last one alive. But the moment they hit the ground, it will be Central Michigan capping point B here. Again, Nyah, keep themselves alive here.
Yeah, and this is good here from Central Michigan. They don't want to die, obviously, to Raito, because Raito is up on that match point. So if Raito does take this map, they win. But Tuna still ready to pop that Orbital Ray whenever. But if you are Central Michigan, you have Sergeant Skittles' ultimate coming up here, Dex. It's going to be interesting up on how they position this, but Raito could just basically find an answer. But look at this, Freed.
Again, this has been something that I've been saying since when they find those first picks, they are able to normally kind of find that second one to lead it into a team fight. When you're getting rid of that Orbital Ray pretty early here, so here, and if you're Central Michigan, you are ecstatic about that. You don't have to deal with that now. Ash is going to be the only one that has anything ready to go for a while, but Central Michigan, you basically don't have a lot either for the map.
Yeah, Central Michigan still with Skittles' ultimate. Turtle just trying to build up. If you are Raito, you have this ultimate up on board. If you are Ash, but yeah, I like what they've been pressuring, but look at this. Spearing it back, and
Onto's right there. I honestly thought we were going to lose Raspberry with that Terrorship. They're able to keep themselves alive. Overclock now coming out from Skittles. They find one, turn it into a second one. Certainly going to be able to find Zach, but the damage basically already done for this fight. Freed put to sleep though. That's going to give Raito here a little bit of a chance. They have the time bank lead, and now you see the Sigma coming back out for them.
yeah, and that Orbital Ray here is still up online here from Michigan, so they could pop this any moment. I wouldn't be surprised if it was popped right now, but look at this. The pressure is coming forth, and both of the teams are just trying to find answers.
Certainly good first one ball here. Zach finds Salt out. Ash though finds one, but the damage is still there for Central Michigan. Ash though finds the second one. How much more can they do here? They still have Tuna keeping them alive, but Freed going to get rid of their support. And finally, it looks like Central Michigan going to be able to complete the map. Raito here, though, has a better time bank by 1:09.
I was getting a little worried there, Dex. I thought we were going to see another moment of a watch point Gibraltar happen, but a different story telling. Raito not stopping this Central Michigan side, and Central Michigan did take that map win whenever they chose Periacio, I believe it was last week or a week before, but Central Michigan, they're looking good. They have some momentum heading up into this one by getting that 3, but they have a minute. Over 2 minutes and 9. I still feel like Central Michigan can do a lot with this minute.
Yeah, I mean, they can, but the biggest problem was it took them almost the entire time on the first point to really get even a touch onto it here. So you can't play slow. You have to play fast. You have to at least guarantee yourself 2 fights. And, I mean, that support line can get you in and out of engagements pretty fast right now if you're Central Michigan, but I love what Salt is doing here. Showing the
Yeah, Salt is back up on the Bastion, as you said. That's a lot of pressure that we got to see there up on Watch Point Gibraltar. Maybe this is more where they play the bridge or these high spaces. But yeah, if you're Central Michigan, you just need something to work for you right out of the spawn doors, right? As you did quote, it was slow for them, and hopefully they could find answers with this 1 minute.
Out the gate, they come here. They know that Salt's back on the Bastion, but they see him there, but the grenade was also there, the person they saw coming out of the spawn. But you're going to be rocked off the high ground. Salt will fall off the high ground, but then immediately just grenade themselves back up there to be with the safety of their team. Salt, though, first one out is a huge thing here for Central Michigan. Yeah,
definitely. Central Michigan just trying to find more answers, and as we can see, Turtle able to get pick. More picks coming out.
And now if you're Central Michigan, this might be first point going your way. The time bank, you're still going to have a little bit here, but from this point out, it's just do or die. You really cannot afford to lose the fight.
Yeah, it's going to be overtime ticking if they keep this one rolling forward for themselves, but as we do get to see, Central Michigan does cap this one, but look at the ultimate economy just trying to build up. Central Michigan is running with the numbers so far, but look at this pressure.
And this this is what you wanted to see from Central Michigan. They had to play fast, something we really hadn't seen from them since Coliseo, and Raito just doesn't do well into it seems, especially with the composition they're running. They want to play slow, they want to be able to find that first pick, but you're going to be able to dodge the sleep there, and that's so big right now for Central Michigan.
Yeah, Freed was always getting hit by those sleeps, and look at that overtime still ticking, but if you're Salt here, you might just be able to get more picks up on this. People are getting low here.
But right now, you do see Salt have to fall back. Different Onso's going to be able to find Turtle so close to an Orb Ray as well. The anti-honor Freed, and that might just do it for this round here, unless we see an incredible play come out from the support line. Raspberry does have the beat. They're going to be able to get it off here. So there is still a chance here for Central Michigan. But right now, Salt trying to do what they can on this high ground. Skittles finds one, but the Flux comes out. Going to be able to find some there, but you have Skittles back on the point, doing what they can. Support coming in from Turtle. Now there's the Orbital Ray, but the artillery coming out from Salt. Going to be able to find one and Freed. Just not able to get back in time. But the first point cap there for Nyah for Central Michigan is huge for them.
Yeah, definitely. This is a different pace setting for Central Michigan. Definitely better from that first attacking phase. As we did say, they were slow up on the start. Raito was just trying to control them as much as possible. But if you have Salt do that again here towards Central Michigan, it could just be a goner. And yeah, I'm a little worried if you are Central Michigan, because you gotta be aware of that DPS line and the player's performance and the mechanics from this Raito side of things. But if you're Central Michigan, you still have a chance here. This is your defense. You got 2 minutes and 9 seconds. This is a different time bank from what Central Michigan had. It was 1 minute heading up into this 2 minutes and 9. But if you're looking at Raito, they didn't bring the aggression like how Central Michigan just did, and Raito was very surprised. So maybe if Central Michigan can do more of this to eliminate that time bank here, Dex, this could just be a leading factor for the Central Michigan team.
Yeah, but right now, I mean, Raito does have the time bank on their side. They can take a fight here. They can try to build up ultimates. Central Michigan, they can't play aggressive into here, so Raito does know that they can play a little bit more aggressively here. And Central Michigan, they've also kind of struggled with aggression coming out from Raito. I like the Winston though here from Ash, especially saw going back over to the Echo. They have an incredible job on it so far this map. You're going to see a lot of coordination come out here though from Raito pretty early. There's the dive on the high ground. The anti-nade out already. Raspberry taken out, and it looks like we're going to probably see a couple more Chippewas fall by the wayside here pretty soon.
Oh, Dex. Yeah, Zach is able to get that follow-up, and if your Central Michigan Turtle is getting low, but they gotta play with this space as it's very, very important, right? So if they don't want to get picked, and definitely Freed doesn't want to get hit by those sleep darts.
Right now, you're trying to find anyone. Skittles gonna be able to escape with their life. It looks like 1 HP and a dream, and a dream is alive there. Ash has to kind of fall back, but Ontos here just trying to get rid of that turret, as you kind of just saw Zach just hammering away. Surly though, gonna be the next one to die, and if you're Raito here,
Skittles.
Reset.
Yeah, and if you are Raito, this is now going back for you, but Central Michigan really just controlling the space pretty well. Now it's down to a minute here, Dex. They're controlling the time bank. Maybe this could be a chance for Central Michigan to get themselves back up in the series.
I mean, they've done it before, and every one of these team series that they have played have gone to 5 in the past, so why not do it again here? Central Michigan, though, you have 40 seconds of defense. You're doing a good job so far. Anthony coming out there will land on to 2. Raspberry, though, going to be able to escape as Freed just plays Lyman. Ontos will be the first one to fall here for Raito. And if you are Raito at this point, might need to fall back. Orbital Ray being invested. Yeah, fall back now. Live to fight another fight, but no, you're casting into this one. Nano out. We'll find Turtle, but Surly. Tuna taken out here. Now Raito is basically has everything going on the back of Ash here, but they have to get out. No, I don't know if there's going to be a touch coming out here. You see Ontos coming back into the fray, but it's not going to be enough here. The Genji can only do so much.
And that was read so well from this Central Michigan side, but as we get to see that swap coming in from Sparkles, maybe, yeah, not what Raito wanted, but different stories are getting told here. If you are Central Michigan, a different shoot back to possibly Central Michigan doing the same thing like how you did, quote.
Yeah, I mean, Central Michigan, they love playing map 5s here. The hell, they love winning map 2 and 4, and so far that has been the case here tonight. But Raito, though, I mean, a very, very strong first round.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
then the defense, I mean, it was looking strong at points, but Central Michigan, they just got better as this entire map went on. And the overtime attacking round for them was just their piece of resistance there. Able to play aggressive, put Raito on their toes, especially after an entire map where Central Michigan just really wasn't playing aggressive, and Raito was getting kind of used to the pace of play that they were playing. So the shift there really did affect Raito.
Yeah, and I'm very impressed that Central Michigan could find an answer against this Raito's team. It did get a little confusing from the watch point map for them, obviously taking 5 minutes and not getting anything, but Raito very well controlled them, and maybe Raito could do it again here, leading forward up into the next one. But yeah, both teams are showing great desire to get a win here. But map 5 it is here.
Yeah, map 5 it is, and I mean, you look at how these two have played in map 5s. I mean, Central Michigan's 1-1. Raito is 1-0 here, but it does seem like we
Yeah.
should be heading to, I believe, a flashpoint map here to end it
Oh.
all off, which, I mean, is going to be an interesting pick here for both sides. If it's Suravasa, I mean, Raito has lost the only time they've played that, and Central Michigan has won one and lost one. So it's going to be very interesting to see what the map pick is going to be here for Raito.
Even, same with the bands, right? It's always something to see from both of the sides. I wouldn't be surprised if we were able to see more up on the tank side, because you're looking at the Flashpoint maps, right? You got New Junk City or you got Surfasa. I could see Brawl getting played here, but also Dive could get seen, even Rush, Poke could also get seen. There's so much variance that could go up into this map, but looking at what I've seen overall, we get to see Hazard played, we get to see Zarya played. There's so much that these teams could bring out, but even that Ball could be seen too.
The ball could be seen. I really think if you're Raito here, you ban out the Hazard. I mean, you've only seen the Winston
Yeah.
outside of them. The Zarya is now back in play if you want to run that here again. But outside of that, I mean, there's going to probably be a tank ban here. I don't know. It really comes down to who has first ban, because if it's Central Michigan that has first ban, you might see a tank ban just to kind of protect the Hazard. Or you might be looking at just trying to get rid of a DPS character here, because I think at this point you've gone through the majority of the supports that would be played.
Yeah. Yeah, both teams gotta get some great bans out here. This is that map 5 scenario. They want to get that leading win heading up into, tonight's map 5, but as well heading up into next week, right? They gotta get a win here. They don't want to end up on another loss, especially with seedings, but it doesn't matter, right? We're up in the early stage of the season. They could build their way back up. They could overlook their VODs. They could practice, scrim, scrim, scrim. But Servasa, it's going to be questionable. Bans are going to be
Survasa,
important.
yeah, they are going to be very important here, and it looks like it was Raito here that got the first ban. They're going to be banning out the Hazard
Oh,
here, so that's been
wow.
the mainstay for Central Michigan all series long. So they're going to have to play without here. The only other tank we've seen them really play has been the Winston and a little bit of Sigma, but on the other side, Central Michigan banning out the Genji, and I mean, Antu's been really, really good on the Genji when we see him play that.
Yeah, Anto's not able to play that Genji anymore. I will say, as they've been playing pretty dominantly with that Genji pick, but none of that's going to be seen here. But map stats for this one, Saravasa, you see Central Michigan 1-1, but you're looking at the other, which is Raito. You're sitting at a 0-1, so not favorable.
0-1, but it did go the entire 5 points against Wholesale Armada. So it could have gone their way there. I mean, Flashpoint is always kind of is a very, very competitive mode, no matter what it is. Even if it's a 3-0, you could sometimes say like it was a 3-0, but the score line does not tell you the
Mhm.
entire story.
Yeah. That's definitely true. Both teams fighting their way up in these Suravasa map picks from week after week. I wouldn't be surprised here if we were able to get that action pack event happening between both of these teams. They're seated pretty closely here. They're showing us what they could do here, Dex, and Cervase is a great map to end it here for both. It's going to be exciting to see what the teams even run out up on, especially with the bans going forth.
Yeah, absolutely here, but it doesn't look like we're going to have any subs coming back in. I mean, we could potentially saw a Van come back in at this point for Turtles, but this does leave the door open to say play a Moira in this map. You could find a lot of value with the Moira. But, I mean, these teams have just gone back and forth all night. And in my opinion, I think this map is going to come down to what version of Central Michigan do we see. Raito has been Raito has been very consistent with it. Yeah, Raito's been very consistent on how they've played every map, their kind of pace and how they want to try to, who their dive target is or how they're playing and what they're doing. But Central Michigan, we've seen it. It's been very weird with it. It's been aggressive and then very slow even on dive. So it's been something where you're kind of scratching your head a little bit here on thinking like, what's this Chippewas team really doing? What's their whole game plan? And thank you, Orange, for the pigeons.
Pigeons. There we go. Yeah, they're overlooking this action as what is gonna happen here. Yeah, look at this, Dex. 2 Zorias? This could be a different storytelling.
I mean, right now, Zarya's coming out from both sides. What do you think about that?
Yeah, that's definitely gonna be scary. I feel like that's gonna bring more of the brawl scenario heading up in the corner pace. But you look at what Barry has been doing with the speeds, and I gotta say, Central Michigan is gonna be that first one to possibly get to it. But you have Tuna still up on this Juno here to play with the speed rings. But yeah, both teams, they still have the speed pace. Could still be close.
And I mean, if you're Central Michigan, you had to know that Surly was gonna come back out on this Ana. I don't understand why not have a hero here to try to cleanse some stuff up here. But Zach getting rid of Antos here very early on. It gets rid of the Venture player here, who's plus the Genji there, getting rid of that backline pressure out early. You find Salt out now, and if you're Raito, you might just be giving up this fight here, but you find Raspberry out. You do have first point cap here if you are Central Michigan, so you're looking good, and Salt going back to the old bread and butter here for them.
Yeah, they want to bring out more damage. Salt is the one to do it with this Bastion pick, but if you are Raito, you got to find some answers here, and the speed ring isn't. Oh.
Well, the answers aren't being found at all. I mean, hell, the book is somewhere else. They're just falling back here to try to find that book so they know the answers for the next time around.
Yeah, Central Michigan, though, still looking very good, but look at the swaps that are happening here, Dex. Raito playing a Kree and a Brig now up in the mix, so a little bit different for them, but can they find answers with this? Perks are still charging up, and if you are Central Michigan, you have more perk side.
And I like this pulse bomb coming out there. Free to be able to take away that kill from Zach, but the pulse bomb stick would have been able to get rid of Salt there. Raito, though, I mean, if you're looking for an engager, you will have that grab, and Ash has never been one to necessarily throw that or hold on to that for very long. It doesn't seem like it will even matter. Tweed playing on that high ground, getting that coalescence to the grab, though. That's a little bit of a mistake of an overinvestment there by Freed, in my opinion, but doesn't matter. Central Michigan takes our first point.
Yeah, and Raito did, I believe, now is up on this Zarya with 8%. So both of them not too bad with that ultimate economy, but Central Michigan just applying more pressure as we got to see. Sergeant Skittles, though, able to find possibly some answers here with this Sojourn overclock that could be popped any second now.
Yeah, and I mean, Salt on this Bastion is just very they can do so much damage, but they have such a big hitbox, it's very easy to take care of them. Overclock coming out here now just to basically cancel out the Orbital Ray, and the Orbital Ray, yeah, make it canceled out. It won't find anything, and Skittles finds, I believe, 3 there with that Overclock. Central Michigan in control of this second point first, and like I said, coming in this map here, Nyah, what Central Michigan team are we going to see? Are we going to see the one that plays aggressively, or are we going to see the one that plays slow? I think we're getting our answer here pretty early.
Yeah, as it gets to be this, secondary, Central Michigan is looking really great, aggressive as the tempo is standing, but It could still be the mix of the fixture. Maybe they could go slow. But yeah, if you are right, so you got to find some answers. You got this brig rally ready to go, but as well, Anto, oh, Freed able to get the pick.
And, I mean, yeah, you have a rally ready to go. Doesn't necessarily matter. Freed looking for the ace here, Zach. Gonna take it away from them there, but doesn't necessarily matter. Freed, I mean, they are turning on a performance here on this map, coming alive when they absolutely needed them.
Yeah, Central Michigan still looking very good, running up in numbers with that percentage mark. If you're right, so maybe just run it to the next objective or kind of force your way back up in this one. Let's see what happens.
Well, you're forcing your way into this one here, and you're forcing it not in the best of ways. You already invest. The Deadeye not finding anything. Rally coming out will cancel out. I believe the call is there from Turtle, but Freed popping the grab here now. Already getting rid of Ash. The rally fading away, just like Surly as well. Salt will find one, but again, it's Freed picking up right where they left off. Haven't died yet. 25 kill streak on the board, and now 1 point away is Central Michigan from taking this series. But Nyah, we've seen this in the past. Raito can't come back.
Yeah, so much action-paced events for this Central Michigan side. Leading 2-0 here, they could just get this next one and win the series. That would be huge for them. But yeah, if you are Raito, you have Salt's ultimate up on board almost, but you also have Ashes, which that could get placed any seconds. I wouldn't be surprised if it was popped early. There it is, yeah.
Out here will get rid of Freed, so that kill streak is over. Pulse bomb from Zach, get a whip and hit the floor. Zach, though, this point is all but lost. They're going to be able to escape. They escaped.
Wow. Okay. This is something to talk about. So they did escape that, and that's actually really good from this side for them. But now you're able to get to see Central Michigan just try and regroup here, and they're taking this space. Maybe a little rotation if you are Zach to force more pressure up on this. But look at this Salt. Getting one.
I like it. You play aggressive there, knowing that the bubbles aren't going to save everyone. You find one out, and it's just a domino effect from there on out. Freed taken out. Turtles will be the only one that's able to live here for a moment, but Raito, this is exactly the kind of start you need on this third point. If you give up the first cap to Central Michigan, I think it would have been very, very desperate for them.
Yeah, and Raito is looking good. Anto is gonna have this blizzard here very shortly, but you have Tuna, which has his orbital ray. This could be something that could get popped, but if you're Central Michigan, you haven't found answers except for now.
Huge grab, Skittles, Raspberry, getting their name in that kill feed, and Anto's the first one to die in that fight. They were so close to a blizzard, which probably would have turned that entire fight on its head. But if you're Raito here, look at what you have coming up here. You're in a good spot with ultimates. I mean, Central Michigan invested heavily, but they have 3 coming up online as well.
So if you're Central Michigan, you could turn this one back real quick, and you gotta be careful because that blizz. Oh, yikes! You're able to get, yeah.
Keep themselves alive, and they lose Ash. This is a point for Raito. They just need to back out, keep everyone alive who can. Tuna, just turn and run. You can watch. Your teammates can respawn. You do not need that.
Yeah, so now if you're Central Michigan, this is a very good looks here, Dex. They're gonna have 2 ultimates up on the board. Maybe they could even charge up Turtles, Coalescence. But yeah, if you're right, so the only ultimate that you're gonna have, well, 2 ultimates, matter of fact, you're gonna have Tunas and you're also gonna have Ashes. Maybe Salt's heading into it, but Salt needs so much factors heading. Maybe Raito can do it.
Although we'll find early on that backline. Skittles finds fancy nose supports now for Raito. Here's a grab coming out. It's a last-ditch ever one here for the beam from Freed. It's going to be a little bit too strong. And Central Michigan, they almost look down and out on Paricio, but they come sweeping through Surabasa to win their second Map 5 series of the season already.
Yeah, I wasn't surprised here from the Central Michigan side. They put up a very, very good dominant performance here against this Raito side, but I would still question a couple things, right? Watch Point Gibraltar wasn't your favor escorting that, but that's probably something that they gotta fix, right? You got a week to do it, but what a dominant, player stats that they have. They got Sergeant Skittles, they got Barry playing that Lucio, which Barry was always there, but as well Freed. Freed would launch themselves, and I feel like the aggression pace was there with Freed whenever, they were always there up in that fight. But yeah, very good stuff from Central Michigan. But if you are right, so definitely a tough series. Very, very close.
Very, very close. And if you ask me, I really think a lot of this play, I mean, it might have been a little bit of a blessing in disguise to ban out the hazard there and force
Mhm.
Freed to play something else, because the Zarya, they looked incredibly comfortable on it, as if it was potentially their main hero they always played, but their team just wants to play dive. It seems like when they played the Zarya, yeah, they slowed down a little bit, but they also just became a little bit more aggressive, and that's something that I feel like they definitely found out after that fourth map, that Raito just kind of struggled with that aggressive kind of play style coming from them.
Though even like the bands heading up into Zarasa, that was very, very good from the side of Central Michigan taking that hero out. And Raito, they were just trying to find some answers with theirs, but couldn't. Very, very great performance from the Central Michigan side. And I wouldn't be surprised if they keep this number going of a map 5. They do
They're
find
already
answers.
3
Yeah.
They're already 3 for 3 on the season. Why not make it 4 for 4? But same thing with Raito here. The two series they have played, they've both gone the distance 5 here. I mean, these two teams are one map away, besides Raito, who had that forfeit in week 1, but they're one map away from being undefeated in games they've played. I mean, these are two
Yeah.
teams that I mean, because of where they are right now with records and standings, will be around that middle of the pack, but they are going to be very, very scary teams to go up against later on in the season.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that Raito didn't get a win here. They have great players. Both of the teams have fantastic mechanics, but you have Central Michigan, which is just better overall, and they read that up on Sarawasa. So, congratulations to Central Michigan. They have more going up into next week that they could fix up on with their escort map, but as well, even their was it control? Yeah, control
Yeah,
they lost. So
yeah.
yeah.
They haven't won a control map all season long so far, but like I said, a lot of time to adjust that here. But I mean, MVP of the series, I mean, I feel like you could almost give it to anyone on Central Michigan. Coming up here, we talked about how good Freed was, and you could make a strong argument for them just off the back of that last performance there. But honestly, if you ask me, Nyah, the MVP of the series has to go to Skittles. I just think they were the most consistent player on the Central Michigan team, which we talked about coming in that last map was a little bit inconsistent at times, but Skittles, especially on this Sojourn, just played incredible all night long. And even though we never saw Soj ban, considering how good Skittles was, they just always were able to pop off on every map, even when their team was struggling.
Yeah, I agree with that. Skittles was always there up at the kill feed. They were finding answers and they were definitely communicating well. This is a great deserved MVP here for Skittles, but as well, just the coordination overall. You got to see Sojourn ultimates getting popped, and Skittles would always find those answers. But yeah, just great overall from this player, and the performance with the mechanics was just fantastic. So definitely something to watch for if you're any other team up in this division. But yeah, Central Michigan, maybe this could be a shocker for any other teams.
Yeah, and I mean, we talked about here a little bit the standings now. After this game, you're going to have Raito kind of sitting down towards the bottom half of the standings, which is not necessarily going to be something that really tells you how good of a team they are, because my feeling
Yeah.
is they play that first week game, it might be a little bit different here now. But you see the standings, you see Central Michigan jumping all the way up into that top 10, and Raito falling all the way down. Well, they only dropped one spot, but again, that does not tell you anything about how good that Raito team is.
Yeah, Raito has some pretty dominant players. They know what to do up on their defensive tactics, but whenever it comes to that aggression playstyle or that pace setting environment, they just they kind of know what they're doing, but they get overrushed. They overthink it, and Raito can't find the answers. But can Raito shoot their way back throughout the season here of the SPCS in our intermediate division? Yes, that could happen with any team here as we get to see. But Central Michigan, they looked fantastic. They're sitting at a 0 is that a
Map
opponent?
differential.
Yeah, very, very good from Central Michigan, and the more that they win, it's
Yep.
gonna just lead forth. A little
A
bit of an
live
update.
update right there, as I believe. I think Eternal Surge just won. No, it was SEAL Team 6 won their series to put them up into that top 8. But I mean, still very early on in the season. You're going to see a lot of movement in the coming weeks. But once we get around weeks 5 and 6, you'll start to kind of have a good idea of where the tiers are in this intermediate division. Only 2 teams undefeated at the moment, but there's still the chance for 3 other teams to be undefeated at the end of play this week in this tier. But speaking of play in SPCS, there's still one more game that will be streamed this week. It'll be in the advanced division, where you'll see OSU varsity take on OSU JV. It's going to be a really fun one, an intercollegiate battle between 2 teams that probably know each other a little bit too well.
Yeah, that's definitely gonna be an exciting watch. I did cover the advanced division last season, which that was pretty fantastic. But yeah, I do miss it. Maybe I could do a little more. But advanced division, as you get to say, OSU varsity versus JV. You got 2, organization teams leading up into. Oh, I think we lost one there.
We lost our game.
And now
Man.
it's saying that the OSU game is intermediate. Oh.
I'm trying to figure out if this OSU is this Oregon State or is this Oklahoma State, because they both use orange. Um,
It's Oregon, I
okay.
believe.
All
Yeah.
right, then go Beavers. But yeah, that's gonna be a fun series tomorrow. Again, it's gonna be very close. JV versus varsity. You know, the JV is gonna want a little bit of bragging rights over varsity. They can take that victory there. So 8:30 tomorrow here at Spawn Point SC on our CS on Twitch. So make sure you come back to watch that one. But that will do it for us here tonight. Thank you everyone for coming out here. Central Michigan able to win it, another exciting Map 5 series for them. Their 3rd one of the season. And it's only week 3, so there's
Yeah.
probably a couple more to come. But for myself, Nyah, Person, Orange, and knock on wood on that last map, apparently. Thank you to all of them, and thank you so much everyone for coming out here to watch this one. Remember, 8:30 tomorrow night for our final stream match of week 3. You're not going to want to miss it. But until then, good night and see you tomorrow.